prison officer is dead and inmates escape after a fiery riot at a Guyana prison. And in sport, West Indies win their T20 encounter against India. I'm Dawn Paris and this is the Caribbean in 10 from Monday, July 10th. I'll be back with the details after the break.
Join the Caribbean Broadcasting Union and its regional and international partners at the CBU Annual General Assembly, August 21st through 24th at the British Colonial Hilton Hotel in Nassau, the Bahamas, under the theme Digital Developments in Caribbean Media. Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Dr. the Honorable Hubert Alexander Minnis, will welcome delegates during the opening ceremony. Guyana's Minister of Public Telecommunications, the Honorable Kathy Hughes, will offer a keynote address on digital developments in the region. See the launch of the UNESCO-sponsored Manual of Social Media Guidelines for Caribbean Journalists, with guest speaker Jamaica's Director of Public Prosecutions, Paula Llewellyn. And hear from international media players about the new developments in digital television standards in Europe, the US, and Japan. And this year's Caribbean Broadcasting Awards Gala at the Atlantis Resort Paradise Island is not to be missed. Call 246-430-1007 to book your space in the 3-day conference and exhibition. Don't miss the CBU 48th Assembly at the British Colonial Hilton Hotel in Nassau from August 21st through 24th. Discounts on flights to the Assembly on the official airline, Caribbean Airlines.
A prison officer is dead and 2 prisoners are on the run after a fiery uprising at Guyana's main jail yesterday evening. Prison officials confirmed that 6 officers were taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital with injuries, and one of them, Odinga Wickham, succumbed to gunshot wounds. 2 of the others are in critical condition and the other 3 are stable. The Camp Street prison in the country's capital was practically destroyed after inmates set the fires to several buildings at the prison after 4 p.m., similar to what occurred at the prison in March last year when 17 inmates died. More than 1,000 prisoners were evacuated and held outside the building under heavy guard, while arrangements were made to transport them to other facilities. Director of Prisons Gladwin Samuels told reporters last night the fires were set as a distraction while the prison break took place. President David Granger said law enforcement officers are working along with members of the joint services to recapture those who have escaped custody. Granger said authorities were also concerned about the safety of the inmates and indicated that authorities were trying to confirm whether there were any others dead or injured at the prison.
So Guyanese could be assured that they are not going to be prisoners roaming all about the city or the countryside, that they are coming in for. In fact, an interesting aspect of all that took place this afternoon was that many prisoners were helping to put the fires out and to save documents in the office, which is quite remarkable. So I would like to assure Guyanese that the government is working very hard overnight to recapture the prisoners, to put those prisoners who have actually been displaced on the proper accommodation, and bring normalcy back to the prison service.
The Jamaica government says it will establish closed-circuit television CCTV systems in secondary institutions shortly as part of a program aimed at improving school safety and security. Education Minister Roel Reid says the technology will assist schools greatly, not only in identifying weapons that are being brought onto campuses, but in identifying students who are high risk. He commended the country's deans of disciplines for the work that they have been doing in maintaining peace and order in the nation's schools. And he says they must work closely with guidance counselors in the day-to-day monitoring and management of institutions. A Trinidad criminologist and criminal psychologist says the lack of a national strategy is the reason a large number of people who commit crimes in the country get away with it. Renee Cummins was on the weekend addressing a lecture series on homicide at the University of Trinidad and Tobago. She was hard on the political leaders, including the leader of national security, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, saying they had no vision for controlling crime. We get more in this report from Nisha John Mohammed of TV6 News.
While crime continues unabated in the nation, one criminologist believes that the responses to curbing this social ill is moving too slow. Ms. Cummings argues that the politics is very divisive when it's time to come up with a response to treat with crime and violence.
The conversation on crime and criminality and homicide and violence in this country has been dysfunctional for a very long time. We know that perpetrators are now emboldened by a 14% detection rate, and they're continuing to exploit that detection rate because in Trinidad and Tobago, you pretty much have an 86% chance to get away with murder on any given day.
Ms. Cummings said the Prime Minister boasted about the resources allocated to law enforcement agencies. But while that is mandatory, she stated, it is not an approach to fighting crime.
We know that government is sounding more hopeless and more helpless in the face of crime and violence. We know that when it comes to law enforcement leadership, we know some have asked for divine intervention. I don't know if we're going to see that anytime soon.
As for the country's visionary leaders, well, Ms. Cummings believes that they've lost their way when it comes to reducing crime and criminality.
Stay with us, your Midday Sport is next.
This month on Caribbean Passport, the region celebrates culture and heritage in colorful, festive displays. Antigua and Barbuda's 60th Carnival, Tobago's Heritage Festival, and we fly to Barbados for Crop Over. All this and more on this station.
Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and CaribVision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today.
Continuing with sports, opener Evan Lewis led a brutal assault with a record-breaking 100 as West Indies sensationally battered India to win the one-off 2020 international by 9 wickets on Sunday. In pursuit of 191 for victory at Sabina Park, the Caribbean side staged the third highest successful run chase in their history to get home with 9 balls to spare and notch their third victory over India in the last 15 months. The left-handed Lewis slammed an unbeaten 125 off a mere 62 deliveries, belting 6 fours and 12 giant sixes. He dominated an 82-run first wicket stand with superstar Chris Gayle, who made 18 from 20 balls in his first match for West Indies since last year's T20 World Cup in India, before adding 112 in an unbroken second partnership with Marlon Samuels, who was flamboyant in an unbeaten 36 off 29 deliveries. India had earlier posted a challenging 190 for 6 after their 20 overs after being sent in, with Dinesh Karthik top scoring with 48 off 29 deliveries and captain Virat Kohli getting 39 off 22 balls. But India lost momentum during their innings and never cleared the 200-run mark. And that's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 this evening for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.